to the multiverse of movies. And welcome, guys. Today is our Eternals spoiler discussion. And so basically, what is a spoiler discussion, you may ask? Well, basically, today we're going to be talking about a particular movie known as Chloe Zhao's The Eternals, and we're just going to go full into details of what we liked, what we didn't like, and just have a conversation about the things we liked about this movie, but in full spoiler context. I've already done a non-spoiler review up on my channel, so if you've not seen Eternals and you don't want to be spoiled, click out of this video, maybe put it on your watch later, and come check it out later. And for the people watching the replay, thank you for watching, and for the people who are live, we've got 4 viewers in the live stream right now, so thank you to everyone right now watching. And yeah, today we're gonna go full on spoilers into Eternals. Actually, let me see if this was working. All right, the audio is working. The audio is working. So I just had to make sure, because I do check. I like to check that everything's good. I like to know that we're all well. But anyways, Eternals. Now let me first get into my thoughts. We already got 3 votes. We already got 3 votes in on the live stream, because I put up a poll saying, do you like Eternals? Also, let me lower my volume a little bit, all right? Because maybe it's a little too loud. But right now, 100% of you guys like Eternals, so that actually left me surprised. 100%, 3 votes, 3 people. The 3 of you that voted, 3 of you, really like this. Really like this movie, so that's always cool to hear. You know me, I loved it. If you've seen my non-spoiler review, you know how much I love this film. I have a deep love for it. And my anticipation prior to the film was, I think it's going to be an alright movie. I think it's going to be decent. I think, I'm going to enjoy it, but I didn't think I was going to love it. Like, I didn't expect it to even top my top 10 favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films. But let me tell you, it broke all expectations. Every expectation I had for this film completely changed. And I know people believe differently. I know there are people out there who have seen Eternals, they've not liked Eternals, they're not big fans of it. And obviously we've seen that it's the first ever Marvel Cinematic Universe film in over like 20 something movies that now it's it got a Ron score on Rotten Tomatoes, meaning that most of the critics did not like this film. So that's the first time a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie has done that. A lot of, audience members are divided on this movie. I talked to a lot of my subscribers, I talked to a lot of other YouTubers, and a lot of them don't really like this movie, but there's also a good majority like me who love this movie. But then there's me who thinks, yes, for those who have not seen my first out of theater review, the one that I dropped without spoilers, in that review I said this, and it was the hardest review I've ever done, because I didn't know how to because in every movie when I leave the theaters, I know exactly what I think. I know things I liked, things I didn't like, and Eternals was a little different. I was like, I love this movie, but I don't know how to tell people I loved it. I don't, and the thing is, I also wanted to explain why I liked it, because I know the things I liked, some people won't like. And I watched Eternals, and when I left, I was like, I tend to write down notes. I have this entire book right here. It's my notebook. I write a lot of notes in my book. My old notebook actually got filled with notes. And when I was writing down notes for my review, I genuinely could not tell people the things I loved, it going into full detail, because it was just the movie freaking mesmerized me, and to me it is the best. I have not said this since 2014. It is the best, to me personally, the best freaking Marvel Cinematic Universe film ever. To me, it's better than Avengers, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Homecoming, Far From Home. Uh, really every Marvel movie that's ever been there. It left me that shocked. And it is still right now my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And also, what's up, BK Dan? Welcome to the stream, man. And he says hello from Connecticut. That's awesome, man. Shout out to Connecticut. Uh, a shout out to Connecticut, and welcome to the stream, BK Dan. Shout out to him, man. He's been here for quite some time, man. But anyways, Eternals genuinely left me in a state of mind that I was not expecting. To me, is a beautiful film of mythology, philosophy, and ideologies being challenged. I love it. I love it when movies pin the main characters and have them challenge their ideals and their ideas and everything. And I completely love that Eternals did that. I love that Eternals pinned every character. You saw some of their flaws. I mean, yes, I know there's a complaint that not every character had full character development, which I will agree on. Like, for example, I didn't really like Sprite that much up until the end of the film. By the way, we're going to get into spoilers. I know it's in the title, and it even says it here at the bottom, right here in the square. But we are going to be going into spoilers, so please keep that in mind. Keep in mind that. All right. So now that I've said that, for sure, this is a spoiler because I've already warned you. It's in the title. It's everything. I genuinely, like, Sprite's character was probably the weakest thing in the movie up until the end, because at first she just comes off as the annoying she was pretty annoying in the film, but then at the end you finally like learn a little more about her. You learn that she doesn't like being human because she's just seen as a child, and when you're a child you're kind of limited to what you can do. You can't drink, you can't date, you can't do this, you can't do that. You were never able to embrace humanity like Cersei or Kingo or Icarus or Fastos. And also, let me talk before I read the comments. What's up, Superwise? What's up, BK Dan? Everyone in the chat. Before I get into my favorite scene, besides the scene where Icarus and Cersei at the end look at each other, they're both crying, and Icarus finally has that sense of humanity in him shown to the public and shown to the audience. Besides that scene, my favorite scene in the movie, and I feel like no one's talking about this scene positively. I know a lot of people are criticizing the scene, but it is the Hiroshima scene. The Hiroshima scene. A lot of people know the history of Hiroshima, but I'm not going to explain it. You can Google that if you don't know it, and if you don't, just pop up a history textbook. But the Hiroshima scene, it shows the bomb, and we all know the history of it. And you see Fastos crying, breaking down, like he looks like he's fallen. He looks like he's at the lowest point. And I love how they show this before you meet the character, just to understand a little more about what he's doing, who he is. And then you have Ajax kind of hug him. But before that, you have like Fastos saying, we shouldn't help humanity, but breaking down. And I'm not sure what the actor's name is. I probably should have written that down. But I love how in that scene you can see this God who wanted to help humanity see the absolute worst of it and just break down out of something that he helped do. And after that, he hadn't helped humanity for a while. He fell in love, he had a kid, and I love that scene a lot. But my main favorite scene was definitely the scene at the end where Icarus is about to shoot the lasers at Cersei, but you can see him breaking down, like he's about to, but then he cries, and then you're reminded of their relationship with Cersei and Icarus in the past, and how Cersei has always been what tied Icarus down to humanity, and I love that. I love that so much. But anyways, I'm gonna read some of the comments. BK Dan says, all right, hold up. Just gotta close the notification. All right. Also, what's up, sub? Welcome to the stream, man. But anyways, let me read some of the comments first. BK Dan says, for me, still Winter Soldier was number 1, Shang-Chi number 2, and Eternals number 3. It's a pretty good one. I don't really have a Winter Soldier up high. I really like Winter Soldier. In fact, my younger sister, that's actually her favorite Marvel movie, or her favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. I think. I could be wrong, but I know she loves that movie a lot more than I do. I really like Winter Soldier, but it's probably not in my top. I forgot. I made a list, and I'm planning on making a video this weekend about my top 10 favorite MCU movies. But I will emphasize that my favorite movie is Eternals. Prior to this, ever since 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy was my favorite MCU movie. I even got this bucket. I got this popcorn bucket of Eternals that I showed on my Instagram and Twitter. So follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at Isaac the Film Geek, link description down below. But I got this popcorn bucket. I don't really get the popcorn buckets, like the design, but because I didn't have any Eternals merch, I actually got it because I didn't get a shirt. Because typically I already have my Spider-Man No Way Home shirt. It's this Doctor Strange one, which you can see actually in my review. But I also have this other one for Wonder Woman 84. This one's from Cinemark. And this one, but yeah, it's Eternals, but I have that there in the background. But let me read some of the comments. Shang-Chi is actually my number 5. My 5th place is Shang-Chi because I love Shang-Chi. Number 4, what was it? number 4 is Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 3 is Thor Ragnarok. Number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy, and number 1 is Marvel Studios The Eternals. But yeah, Superwise, let me read Superwise's comment. While I don't think it's the best MCU movie yet, like you, I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely not perfect, has some serious issues, but it ain't as bad as critics are making it out to be. And yeah, look, I understand. I went to for my third viewing. Yes, I've seen this movie 3 times already, and I booked my tickets for Saturday so I can watch it a fourth time. Uh, and I when I before I went to go watch it with my friends, I was hyping up how much I love this movie. But remember when before we entered the theater, because my friends, while they like movies like the Marvel movies, they aren't big, like they're not like us who are hardcore fans who, in fact, they would have never known that Toby and Andrew could possibly be in No Way Home without me. But they aren't massive like movie nerds like me. I believe none of them have ever seen the original Star Wars trilogy. But I did tell them before, I was like, look, I'm hyping up this movie so much and I love it. But I don't think you guys are going to like it. Like I told them that straight up. I was like, I don't think they're going to like it. Also, who the heck is webcam? Who the heck is webcam? Oh crap. This is the first time this happened. Sorry guys. I'm gonna block this comment. Sadly, none of my moderators are here. Give me some time. I need to block this. This is freaking stupid. This is freaking stupid. Nah. Hide this user. Sorry guys. I need to block this number. Not number. This account completely. I'm not here to deal with pornographic people who. All right. All right. Let me try removing them because I don't want people to look that in the comments. Sorry, guys. Thank you, BK Dan. BK Dan says he's reporting that. I've never had that issue where someone spammed or had like fake accounts or something like that. I'm trying to delete the comments because I don't want people who are coming into the chat to like see that. Like I want people to read everyone else's comments. So sorry if I'm gonna have to catch up to these comments, but I don't think I can remove them because I'm removing them, but they're not leaving. So I stopped them at least. I think that's good enough. But all right. So let me continue with the topic. Sorry about that, guys. But anyways, like I told them before that they're probably not gonna like this movie because this movie is unique from other Marvel movies. There are things that do remind you that this is a Marvel movie, but the movie as a whole does things that we've never seen in the MCU. It's unique. It's different. Not only that, but this isn't really an action-packed movie. There's action in it. There's good action in it. But I was telling them, hey, this movie might bore you. Like I know, like I'm in a lot of group chats. I'm in a lot of group chats. So I talk to other YouTubers, and a lot of them tell me that to them it was boring. They didn't like it, which is fine. It's fine. So I understand if like I did not expect to love it this much, and I knew that when I first dropped my first ever, because on Twitter I like to put my initial reactions. I had a few people message me saying, "Really? You thought it was that good?" And it was pretty funny. And then I did my full review, and then even more people were surprised by how much I ended up loving it. But it is what it is. That's just how I felt over it. But about the critics, I mean, to be fair, 48% of them liked it. Like, I understand, like, let me just say this, all film is subjective, but I will say I am surprised at how low it is, especially since it's my favorite Marvel movie, or Marvel Cinematic, the only Marvel movie, and I'm talking about all Marvel movie history, the only Marvel movie I like more than this one is Spider-Man 2, but that's just my personal opinion. Eternals is in my top 10 now. I don't know what my top 10 list is for comic book movies as a whole, but it would probably be number 6, number 7, around there. I don't know, but I would have to think about that. But all right, next comment. Also, this part of my nose feels kind of scratchy, so sorry if I'm scratching my nose a lot. But next comment by BK Dan. In my opinion, the kid who played Sprite gets best supporting but doesn't win. Oh, you mean like the Oscars? I wouldn't say that exactly, but I did like her acting. I believe she's only 14, so for someone at such a young age to act that good, impressive. I don't know what she's been in. This is the first time I've seen her in a movie, so maybe there is another movie I've seen her in, but I just forgot. But she was really good in it. Like I was surprised by how good, because let's be honest, most child actors don't really ever do that well. I'll even say this: if I was to be put on screen, I would be terrible as an actor. But the one girl, which I need to search up her name, but she was talented. She was great in this, and I love that. But Sprite, the character of Sprite, I didn't really like her at the beginning, but at the end, I do end up loving like the idea of how she was just this person who lived for centuries trapped in a kid's body, forced to be a kid. And I love how at the end she hates being a human so much that she's willing to die just to be human, to finally grow up and know what it's like to be a human being who grows up. Um, but anyways, next comment from Sub, who was talking to Dane Whitman in post credit scene. I think that's Blade. Um, I don't know. That kind of sounds like I can't pronounce his name. The actor for Blade, Marshala Ali. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I know that kind of sounded like his voice. The first time I watched Eternals, I actually didn't think that until the second time, and I listened to it more clearly. I saw a lot of people theorizing it's Blade, and I was like, all right, I guess I think it's Blade, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but yeah. BK Dan, I agree. The Hiroshima scene was very in touch with the character of Fastos. Yeah, because Fastos' whole job is to kind of help humanity. Also, wait, Let me make this image bigger, because I noticed this image doesn't look that big. Oh wait, I have it unlocked. My bad. Let me make this image bigger because I don't like that. I had some old text there earlier, but let me see if I can do anything about it. Hold up. I want to fix something. I want to fix something real quick. Yeah, I didn't realize I made this mistake, but um, so there we go. There. All right. There's the. All right. I fixed it. But anyways, yeah, I think it was in line with the character of Fastos, how he was there to help humanity evolve, and how he was there to help them, and then his invention caused the death of tons and tons of people in that tragic. To me, this scene gave me vibes of the first X-Men movie from 2000, when you see Magneto's origin, how he was in the concentration camps, and that that turns him to hate human beings because of you know he saw the absolute worst in humanity that day, and from then on, he just hated human beings and wanted to help mutants. So this scene felt familiar to that, and I loved it, and I love how fast it was breaking down the actor. I've seen him in a lot of things. He was in Godzilla vs Kong also just recently. I don't know what his name is, but he was great in the movie. I really like his character. I love how he's doing this for his family, and how he gave up on humanity because of that moment in his life. But yeah, BK Dan says Blade was talking. Yeah, I think it's Blade. And then he says, looking forward to your list. Thank you, BK Dan. And yeah, I'll try uploading it on Saturday. I gotta still record it. But I did write down my entire list, and I ended up realizing that there's only really 3 Marvel movies I hate, and 5 of them that I don't like. But yeah, BK Dan already reported them. I already read that. BK Dan. I can see where 47 out of 319 critics liked, and 80 out of 5,000 plus liked it. Yeah, I don't know the exact number. I know just 48% of the Rotten Tomatoes critics liked it. Liked it. I will admit, there's something that I need to address real quick. So I see a lot of people who like the Eternals, because I've seen it divided where half the people love Eternals and then half that don't like it and think it's boring. And I was talking to one of my buddies on YouTube, and one thing I didn't like that he said that anyone who didn't like Eternals is homophobic and racist. And yes, Eternals has had some backlash in the past. And yeah, there are a lot of homophobic people who just did not like this movie out of their own pure hatred towards gay people. That is true. But I will say I didn't like how he just kind of was like he went on this rant on this Instagram DM I texted him with, and he kept ranting about how the critics don't understand the fans, and the critics just don't understand the audience, and that they don't know what a good movie is, and they're wrong about Eternals. And I had to tell him, hey, hold on back. Yes, there are homophobic people who don't like this movie because there's a gay guy in it, but that is not all of them. There are true people who saw this movie and thought, "Hey, look, I just did not like it," because I'm sure that at least one of you guys did not like this movie. And yes, y'all know I love Eternals. To me, it's the best Marvel movie of all time, or Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of all time. And even I had to defend. I was like, no, all film is subjective. Yes, you can like a movie, but other people are not going to share that same experience. Because the thing about movies is they affect us in our own ways. Some emotionally, some from our mindsets, our mentality. And it's important to know that not everyone shares the same story. Not everyone shares the same life experiences. And everyone grows up differently, different beliefs, different ideology. And and I had to remind him that yes, there are stupid people who hate this movie because they're homophobic and they're idiots and that they're backwards, but that's not everyone. There are, like, I've met people already that told me that they hated Eternals, but they're very pro LGBTQ plus, and that they had no issues with Fastos being gay. And I remember I had to tell that guy, hey, look, please do not believe that. Yes, there are, like, Geeks and Gamers. I already called out Geeks and Gamers. I just don't like how they Geeks and Gamers spin the narrative to this being a whole, like, they kept saying how putting a gay person is political and that they're enforcing propaganda into mindsets, which I found very stupid, but it is what it is. But I did have to tell him, I did have to tell him that please be aware that that not everyone's gonna like Eternals, especially because of how different it is compared to other Marvel films. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy Eternals when it comes out on Blu-ray, and also Shang-Chi comes out tomorrow on Disney Plus. So I'm very excited for that. I'm probably, when I get home from work tomorrow, I'm probably gonna end up watching Shang-Chi because I loved Shang-Chi. I it's in my top five. Obviously, I said that earlier, but yeah. BK Dan says Leah McHug. I'm probably mispronounced that, but yeah, Leah. I'm gonna assume it's McHugh. Wait, I'm stupid. Did I say hug? My bad. I think it's Leah McHugh. Um, and she played a recurring Into the Dark on Hulu a couple of years ago. Oh, that's awesome. I've never seen Into the Dark, but I didn't know she was on anything really. I mean, obviously she probably was on. She obviously, I should have known that she was in something else because Marvel likes to cast people who have experience. But still, man, talented. Um, talented, talented. Because it always impresses me so much when a child actor does really well in a movie, and especially for her, who's not only a child actress, but she's a actress in a Marvel movie, so there's added pressure. You're being directed by Chloe Zhao, who is the champion right now, who is the defending Oscar champion for Best Director and Best Picture, and also you're acting alongside Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, and many others or great in their roles or great characters. So for someone who's that young to just come into this movie and do very well alongside Gemma Chan, oh my god, dude, that's impressive. I don't know how they were even able to teach her acting. Maybe she was born with the talent. I don't know, but impressive, man, impressive. Um, I obviously would not be able to do something like that. But next comment. Sub says, Karun is my favorite character. His comedy timing was more accurate than Kingo. Oh, okay. That's what his name is. I've seen this movie 3 times, but I never was able. I didn't know what his. I think I knew his name the first couple of times, but I keep forgetting it. But yeah, Karun, who was the cameraman for Kingo, I really like him. He was pretty funny. He was kind of like the human side of everything. But imagine what it's like to be the only normal human being, the only mortal amongst other godlike beings who have lived on this earth for thousands and thousands of years. Like, imagine what it must feel like to be in that, in that place. And I really liked him. He was really funny. And Kingo, I really liked Kingo a lot. He was insanely funny. I really liked him. And I liked everyone, really. I like Fastos. I like Cersei. Cersei was my favorite. Gemma Chan, great in this movie. Dina, I loved Dina. Did I say Kingo already? I already said Kingo. Fastos. Droid, and Gilgamesh. I think Gilgamesh was great. Makari. I actually have a video talking about who's faster between Makari and Flash. It's ready. It's edited. It's processing. The HD already processed on the video. I'll probably upload it later today or tomorrow morning. But yeah, great. It was just great, awesome. It was just super, really, really good. But everyone was really good in it. The Celestial, what's his name? Arashim the Judge. I know that's his name. Arashim the Judge was really impressive. But I loved everyone else. Everyone in this film was great. Everyone brought their A games. They were all good. But my favorite was definitely Gemma Chan. Oh wait, I almost forgot to say Richard Madden as Icarus was really good. And obviously he's like the Superman in this movie. But yeah, he was really good. But yeah, sorry, 80%, not 80 out of 5,000. Understandable. Just looked it up right now. 47%. 80. Oh yeah, the audience is 80%. And 40. That's a big difference. That's a very big difference. But I understand the difference. But it is pretty cool. Hold up. Next comment. Okay, BK Dan says the ones who didn't like it because of homophobia have an anti-gay agenda. Yeah, that's true. It's sad because, sadly in the movie fandom, and it's something that recently I've been trying to be more active on. I wanted to discuss the negativity in the fandom because I do think the only way to stop negativity is by putting it down in the community. That's how we stop. It's like racism 40 years ago was seen as like a normal thing, or 50 years ago, I mean, or I don't know, whatever. 50 years ago, racism was seen as a normal thing. Now it's being like, it's kind of like racism is being stomped on more, where it's like, it's less and less acceptable throughout the years. And it's kind of like in the movie fandom. In the movie fandom, we need to start like saying things in order to stop. Like recently I made a video about pirating. Now pirating as a movie fandom, we need to stop allowing pirating to be seen as normal, and that we need to start abolishing it. And it's sad because in the movie fandom, you got channels like The Quartering, Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinno from RK Outpost, and other channels really, that they'll go on their channels and tell their thousands of audience members that this movie is enforcing a gay agenda to you, meaning that, they're kind of like, they're making up these agendas about how having gay characters in movies is bad, and a lot of people are falling for it. And that's a big toxic part of the fandom that we need to address as a community and end. And the reason why I say this is because, look, I'm a teenager, or I'm 19 years old. So, when you're a teenager, you're young and impressionable. You're obviously stupid, and I'm still stupid till this day. When you're a teenager, you're stupid. And back in 2018, like late 2018, when Brie Larson was getting hate, I ended up becoming a subscriber of Geeks and Gamers. Yes, I'll admit that. I want to admit this because I do think it's important for me to tell people my perspective so that way other people learn from my mistakes. I became a subscriber of Geeks and Gamers. And as sad as I'm going to admit this, I grew up in a very homophobic household. Like my entire life, it was just gay people are bad, and that's all I saw in my life. And Geeks and Gamers, all Geeks and Gamers did was solidify that as a bad thing, when in reality, it shouldn't be that way. And look, I apologize for the past, and like throughout last 3 years, 4 years, I've learned from it, and I've learned that hatred is bad. All right. And Geeks and Gamers, anytime there was an LGBTQ plus character in a movie, they would start saying, oh, look, they're enforcing this agenda on you. They're enforcing this on you. They're trying to make you gay. They're trying to tell you that you need to. And it's like, as a young, impressionable 16-year-old, and during the Brie Larson hate, I ended up starting to believe a lot of sexist and homophobic things. And throughout the years, the older I got, the more I realized, oh my God, these guys are real homophobes, because all they're doing is telling their audience members that having gay characters in a movie is bad. And throughout years, I started understanding that what I'm believing is wrong. And I say this because I want people to learn from it. And that's why I've made videos on it. Because as a movie fandom, we need to be less, we need to start telling people that this is bad and this is negative. And I don't see enough channels trying to do it. And look, I'm a small, nobody gives a crap about YouTube channel. And even, even though I have a small channel, I still have you guys watching. The 6 viewers on the chat, BK Dan, sub, everyone watching the stream, watching my videos. I at least want to make a difference to a few people. Because at the end of the day, talking to the community is not just thousands of subscribers. It's about talking to each and every individual and telling them the ways we can improve as a community, because the only way that society, that the movie fandom, that anything can improve is by discussing it and talking about it. And I'm glad that I was able to take away my negativity from Geeks and Gamers, and I realized that they are a hate group. They're all they're doing on their channel is spewing off hatred towards women, people of color, LGBTQ plus especially, and you know the biggest problem is that their target, their main demographic, is young impressionable teenagers like I was, and I want my job to be to tell people, or not my main job, but part of my job as being someone in the movie community is to discuss these topics and try reversing the narrative, because there's not enough big YouTube channels that talk about this stuff, because a lot of people want to hide from it. A lot of people, because I get homophobic comments. If you watch some of my videos, if you go to the comments, you'll see homophobic comments. I even had messages sent to me calling me the F slur. I've had this, I've had that. On my Twitter, I get attacked. On my Instagram, I get attacked. And I'm not even gay. I'm not even gay, and yet I'm being attacked. And it's like, this is all proof that, as a movie fandom, we're still not at that perfect point, and we probably never will be. But it's important that movie channels discuss this. But that's just how I see it. Sorry if I went on a preachy rant, but yeah. But it's sad that people hated this movie because they're homophobes and that they don't understand how the world works. But it's sad people believe that way. But yeah. Anyways, sorry about that. Sorry about my rant. But yeah. Also, what's up, Fernando Ayala? What's up to the stream, man? Welcome. And he's saying watching from Chicago. So shout out to Chicago, man. I've been to Chicago a couple of times. I actually went to this place where the 18-wheeler, like in The Dark Knight, there's a scene where the 18-wheeler gets flipped with Joker in it. I actually went to that area of Chicago. But yeah. Next comment. All right, so enough about my preachiness, but yeah. Which comment was I on? Okay, there we go. BKDan, yeah, just watched your Geeks and Gamers video. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's sad, but you know what? My job is just to try and help people look at the way this differently. But yeah. Next comment, D plus day is Disney Plus Day. What? I feel bad, but I read that as D Day. Sorry about that, but yeah, Disney Plus Day is tomorrow. We're gonna get some news. We're gonna get our Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, or series is called Obi-Wan, but I'm excited. Even though I'm not a big fan of the prequels, I still am excited to see the Obi-Wan's trailer. And also Shang-Chi comes out tomorrow, so it's cool. But yeah, BK Dan says, especially a child actor with very little experience to really draw you into the struggle of unrequited love. Yeah, it was just, her acting was great. Her crying scenes were great. Every scene was great. And for such a young actress, wow, I did not expect that. Round of applause to her. She wasn't the best actress in the movie, but you can't expect that from a child. And, from here on now, she's only going to improve, because she's only 14. She's not even old enough to drive a car. And yet, look at what she's doing now. But that's really impressive, man. But yeah, prediction regarding Leah McHugh. She'll be the best supporting actress, and the second one announced, but like I said, not win. That makes sense. I don't have any predictions for the Oscars. But on late December, I do want to make a video talking about what I would put as the Oscars and all that, all the movies, kind of do like an award show of the movies we've seen. But yeah, she's very impressive. Would I say she's supporting actress level? I need to remind myself about like all the other movies, like Green Knight, Last Night in Soho. I need to remind myself of all the other movies that I've seen, just to kind of. But as of now, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. But yeah, Sub says maybe involvement of LGBTQ plus movie in this movie could impact on children thinking, as these movies are PG-13. Just my opinion. Oh, hey, okay, wait, hold up. Maybe involvement of LGBTQ plus in this movie could impact on children thinking. I'm a little confused. Do you mean like having a gay person in a movie could impact the ideas of a kid? I don't know, but realistically, it was just they didn't. It's not like they were like. I see a lot of people saying that this was a preaching moment, like this movie was preaching down to you. Really, it was just the scene where two guys kiss, and it's like I don't get the issue, but I don't know what what it is you mean, but yeah. BK Dan says, sadly, in the 21st century, that is still seen as expected, not accepted. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And the sad thing is, there's a lot of ignorant people who think that nowadays that the LGBTQ plus community is accepted, when in reality, we're so far from that. Are we better now than we were 10 years ago? Yeah, but we're not at perfect. There's a lot of homophobe. I can tell you this: 60% of the people I've talked to are probably homophobic. Um, it's not accepted. Sadly, literally almost all of my family members are homophobic, probably except for like the young ones. Um, Sadly, we are still in that era of thinking. Sadly, but and I remember when I first ever dropped my first video attacking geeks and gamers. I remember I had a couple of people tell me that they were gonna unsubscribe to my channel because I was preaching LGBTQ plus propaganda, when all I said was, "Hey, how about we call out homophobia?" But it is what it is. But anyways, BK Dan says movies of the time speak to the time at the time. Oh, do you mean like movies that come from an era talk about that era? If so, yeah, Eternals talks. Yeah, Eternals makes sense about that. But yeah. BK Dan says, I used to follow Quartering and look to his words as gospel. No, I've seen the light. Yeah, Quartering, I'll admit he's the least worst. But the worst thing is he has the most influence because he has the biggest channel, the most views. And I actually was never a subscriber of Quartering, but sadly I still was in that range back in the day with Geeks and Gamers and all that. But yeah, Quartering is a very annoying person, and he spews off hate without actually knowing that he is. But it is what it is. But BK Dan says all these channels teach. Oh, do you mean like channels and shows is hate, hate, hate? Yeah, they teach a lot of hate. Their entire channel is hate. And the problem with that is your impressionable audience is going to fall for it because they're young and impressionable. And yeah, it's all hate. And I hate how Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, I know how he is because I used to be a subscriber years ago. I remember he would like drop one positive video like out of like 20 negative videos, and he would say, look everybody, I have this one positive video, but then would ignore the fact that he made like 20 videos attacking gay people. But it is what it is. That and ignorance. Yeah, they teach a lot of ignorance because they know a lot of their subscribers are ignorant. But next comment. Sorry if I'm not catching up to the title. What was that? Yo, Jose Hurtado has super chatted $1.99. Thank you, Jose Hurtado. That's actually a close friend of mine that I've been close to him for years and years. So shout out to him. I've not caught up with the comments, but yeah, just showed me right here. Shout out to Jose Hurtado. Shout out to him, man. Thank you for sending in that money. Thank you for supporting the channel in any way that you can. And thank you so much, man. Shout out to you, man, Jose. And yeah, me and him are close friends. One of the best friends I've ever had. So shout out to him for that donation. But let me try catching up to the rest of the comments. Where was I? Oh, I finally caught up to Fernando saying that he's watching from Chicago. But again, shout out to Chicago, man. Shout out to Chicago. Yeah. Okay, BK Dan says Chicago, Chidtown in the house, was in Chicago for 2 weeks when I was 25, many years ago. That's awesome, man. I've been to Chicago just like twice in my life, but it was mainly because I was passing by because I Actually, let me say this. So I often go visit my older sister who lives in Wisconsin, and she lives a little close to Milwaukee. But our plane always arrives in Chicago, and it saves us money to go to Chicago. And she lives like 2 hours away from Chicago. So oftentimes I've been to the Chicago airport, even though I'm not really visiting Chicago. But Chicago looks pretty nice. I mean, I don't know much about the city, um, but when I go to Chicago, it feels like Houston but colder. And I'm from Houston. I'm from Houston, Houston, Texas, and when I go to Chicago, it felt like Houston but cold. Because if you didn't know this, Texas is not cold. Texas is warm. In fact, right now, I shouldn't be wearing this jacket because it's still warm outside. Although it was cold last week, but for some reason it's back to being warm. But yeah, I've been to Chicago a few times, but not that many times. But yeah, um, Fernando Ayala says Eternals is a badass movie. Wasn't expecting it to be that good for real. Reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I like how you put the tomato emoji. Was making the movie look bad when it wasn't, and I'm glad you liked it, Fernando. I'm glad, and I'm not sure if you've seen my original review, my non spoiler one that I dropped when the movie came out. I think it's the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It's probably in my favorite movies of the year. I would have to think about that. I loved Eternals. I really loved it. I've seen it 3 times, and I'm gonna watch it a fourth time this Saturday, and it's gonna tie my record for most amount of times I've seen a movie since Endgame. Yes, Endgame I watched it 4 times. Never have I seen a movie 4 times besides Endgame and Eternals. That's how much I loved Eternals, and I'm gonna be watching it. I'm gonna be watching it again, so I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, glad you loved it, and I'm really glad you loved it. I love knowing that people love movies. But yeah, Master Swag King Entertainment says hi. What's up, MSK? Shout out to him, man. He also runs a YouTube channel. So if you're brand new to him, if you're brand new to him, go subscribe to him. He does a lot of live streams. But yeah, BK Dan says Leo's only 16, not 14. I thought. Oh wait, hold up. I thought she was 14. I'm wrong. Either way, that's really young. Like if you're under the age of 20 and you're able to get these big acting roles and do really well in them, that's really impressive. That's really impressive. But yeah, MSK says, "Hey man, want to that one-on-one after 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. Sunday I probably can't. On Sunday I'm very busy those days, so I wouldn't be able to. But just DM me, just privately DM me, and I'll respond to you. But yeah, but thank you for the invitation, MSK." BK Dan says, "In my opinion, the kiss was nothing compared to Eternals bumping uglies in the desert. Was push. Yeah, it's like." A lot of these people say that the gay kiss scene is forcing an agenda, and they claim to not be homophobic, but yet they were fine when we saw a literal sex scene early in the movie between 2 straight characters. And I guarantee you, if those characters had, if let's say Icarus and another guy were doing that, I guarantee you a lot of these homophobes would be attacking this movie. But also, what's up, Tony Robinson? Welcome to the stream, man. What's up? And glad you're here, man. But yeah. I like it was just a kiss. I don't get why people were so mad. Also, we got 11 votes and I did not check the voting polls. Let me actually see how much you guys like it. So 82% of you guys love this movie out of 11 people that voted. So I'm glad you liked the 18%. I'm assuming that means either 1 or 2 people didn't like the movie. I'm sad that sorry if you didn't like the movie, but I ended up loving it. But yeah, a lot of people like it. A lot of people like it, but we also got quite some viewers. I don't really have to ever get tons of viewers on my streams, but that's pretty cool. But yeah, the kiss scene. A lot of people got mad at the kiss scene. Even I'm not gonna say, but some people I'm close to in my real life, they are very homophobic, and one of them told me that they thought that they almost walked out during the gay scene, the gay kiss scene. But sad that some people believe the way they believe. But yeah. Next comment. But and yeah, it's like, and it's funny because a lot of people say that they're not homophobic but complain about a gay kiss scene, and it's not like it was this big scene, so I don't even get what the issue is. And I didn't feel disgusted. I was just like, it's a character showing his love and admiration to his husband. I don't get the issue. It's like, if you're not homophobic, you wouldn't have an issue with that. But yeah, it is what it is. Next, but yeah, the sex scene. I'm not even lying when I say this. When I went to go watch this movie for the first time, I completely forgot that there was gonna be a sex scene. I know Chloe Zhao confirmed that there was gonna be a sex scene, and I completely had forgotten about that up until when I watched the movie, and yeah, and then it was there, and I was like, oh, Marvel's first sex scene. It's been like 20, 25, 26 movies, and we're just now getting our first sex scene. So, you know, and I like how you explain it, bumping uglies. uh, I like that description, but yeah, I completely forgot about that, but yeah. Um, but yeah, again, once again, shout out to Jose Hurtado for sending in that $2 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel in any way that you can. Um, I'm wondering why it's not popping up. Like it won't pop up the super chat on the screen. It's popping up in the chat, obviously, but it's not popping up in. It's not popping up on the screen. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, it's like weird. But it's weird. Um, yeah, it's not popping up. But anyways, let me get back into it. But anyways, Sub says was expecting Kingo's entry in climax fight. Sadly, he didn't come. Yeah, I was surprised when Kingo walked away, and I know a lot of people wanted to see. Obviously, they were surprised that Kingo was not in the final fight, but I actually understood why, because I love how in that scene when they're challenging on whether they should even stop Tiamat from coming into existence, I think it makes sense that at least one of them would walk out and say, "I'm giving up. What's the point?" And to me, I like that they did that because not no superhero movie does that. Often in times in superhero movies, you'll have this emotional scene where all the characters realize they're about to sacrifice themselves, and then all of them go in to fight. And I like how this time they changed it up because this movie challenges philosophies, and one of the philosophies was, should we even stop Tiamat because they don't bring existence to, their whole purpose was to help Tiamat come into existence, and some of the characters are like, no, we want to protect humanity because that's what we believed we were here for. And then I like how there was at least that one character who was like, you know what can we do? We're nothing compared to the Celestials. Um, so I was surprised that he didn't end up in the final battle at all, but I like that. I like that. And also, I was expecting the camera guy to die at any moment. I'm not joking. I genuinely thought there was going to be this emotional scene. And I'm glad they aren't, because now that way we can get his own solo Disney Plus series right now. Everyone, we got to go protest it. Forget restoring the Snyderverse. Forget getting a Dune sequel, which we already know we're getting. But we need to go right now and get that camera guy, the guy who was with Kingo, who the name was here earlier. Someone commented down below. We need to right now protest and say we need his own Disney Plus series right now. We need to go right now and protest for him to get his own Disney Plus series. Hey, what does that look better? Do you guys prefer with this light? I don't know, but I wanted to test if that was better. But yeah, um, yeah, I did like that. BK Dan says I always pronounce Shit Town as Shy Town. I mean, I don't know, I don't know. I know in Houston we like to say H Town, but I never knew that people would say Chit Town or however you pronounce it. I don't know, but Chicago, I pronounce it Chicago, and I just said Shit Town, but oh well. Sub says Airstream's voice was so deep and badass. Yeah, it was. Um, yeah. Um, I I love. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen this movie in IMAX. I love watching movies in IMAX. I watched this movie the first two times on IMAX, and then I watched it on standard, and this week I'm gonna watch it on standard again. But Erishim on IMAX and even in standard looks so freaking cool because he's so big compared to the other Eternals. And I love how the first time you see Erishim, you don't see his full body, you see his face. And for the people who hadn't seen the trailers or anything related to this, they probably were like, "What the heck is that?" And then, and it was so huge, and his voice was like godlike, where it was loud. He had an echo, and it was just so good. And I'm so glad this movie isn't on Disney Plus like Black Widow was, so that way people were able to experience Erishim in theaters where it was meant to be seen. But yeah, except for my friend. Let me say this right now. I don't really like calling out. I don't really so often in times you'll notice in my videos. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Let me check something real quick. I don't know. But just have to check the window because there's a window right there. Let me say this right now. So I oftentimes, if you go watch my videos or streams or anything, really, I'll often reference my friends because I like my friends a lot and I like to use them as examples. But I'll never actually ever say their names due to privacy. But let me say this. So I have this friend, and me and him are pretty close, and I consider him to be one of my closest friends who loves Marvel and DC and all that, like movies and stuff. He's not as big of a movie fan as I am, but he actually he was a guest on my channel, and he was in my WandaVision episode 9 spoiler discussion, so you could find him. And so he's on Snapchat. He actually has a YouTube channel, but I'm not gonna say his channels. But he he's on Snapchat. He posts a story, and it was him saying something, but in the background you can see a laptop, and it was that scene where Fastos uh meets Icarus again. And I was like, no, please don't, please tell me you're watching the trailer, and because in the trailers you do see Fastos in that shot, and I'm like, no, please don't tell me on a laptop. And I'm like, this isn't even on Disney Plus, so this only means one thing. And I slide up and I'm like, please don't tell me that's Eternals. Don't tell me that's the full movie. And you told me, yeah, that's the full movie. I felt so because you guys know how much I hate pirating. I really, I really hate pirating. And I'm about to read y'all's comments. So sorry if Sub, Tony, BK Dan, everyone's waiting. But let me just say this. And I was so disappointed. Like, I wasn't even mad. I was not pissed. I was just so disappointed in him because I have a big thing where I'm like, if you're pirating a movie, then that means you're basically telling the directors and everyone who worked hard on this movie that the creativity meant nothing for the last 2 years. And I remember I called him out. I was like, dude, come on, dude. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. And then I sent him a link to the video I talked about illegal pirating, and I called him a thief, and he was saying how he doesn't really care and how he's broke, and that's why he pirated the movie. But I'm like, dude, if you're broke, then don't go watch the movie. It's simple as that. Um, look, I have financial issues too, but it's like, if you're broke, if you go to a convenience store, and if you don't have money, then you're obviously not gonna take it. I mean, some people like shoplifting, but that's another topic. But if you pirate a movie, then don't even call yourself a fan. I'm sorry, but you can screw off if you pirate. But yeah, it was disappointing to see that, especially for a movie I love. It's sad. But anyways, um, next comments. Daniel BK Dan says Daniel Radcliffe was only 12, so when he did the first Harry Potter. Yeah, the Harry Potter cast, great. They were very young when they were in those movies, and they had to star in those movies, so that was pretty tough, and that's impressive. But yeah, Tony Robinson says if it was two women kissing, no one bat an eye. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, I do think there would have been more. I do think there was more backlash because it was guys and it was girls because it's mainly straight guys who complain about this. Like the straight homophobes are the ones that complain about this movie. And well, obviously you have to be straight to be homophobic, but but even like these straight homophobes, I guarantee you if it was two girls kissing, or at least let me rephrase that, two attractive girls kissing, they would have had no problem. But because it was two guys, that's where the issue lied. And yet they claim to not be homophobic. And it is what it is, but look, I get if you're disappointed because you don't like kissing scenes as a whole, even if they're straight kissing scenes. Like I get if you're not a fan of kissing scenes, but if you're someone who is fine with two straight couples or a straight couple kissing in a movie, especially in the same movie where a straight couple kisses, I mean not kisses, they're rubbing uglies. They're rubbing uglies in the movie. If you're not complaining about that, but you're complaining about the 3-second kiss scene, that shows an indication you're homophobic. Just putting that out there. But yeah, um, um, this, yeah, I didn't want to get the chat flagged. Use bumping uglies instead. Thank you, VK Dan, for being considerate. But yeah, wait, hold up. And yeah, over here, BK Dan says the kiss was a whole, what, 3 seconds, if that. Yeah, it was a pretty short kiss scene. So it's like, you would blink and would miss this scene. So I don't even know why people. It's the same when Loki came out and they were saying how the movie was promoting LGBTQ plus propaganda. And I'll tell you this: the scene that Loki says he's bi, I did not even get it the first time. Oh crap! My battery for my PlayStation controller is low, but I did not even get it. Like I remember I saw that scene the first time, and I did not even guess he was a bisexual, and yet everyone was saying, "Look at how they're promoting LGBT." And it's like, that just shows how homophobic you are if you're that mad about a a quick scene that you couldn't even tell. And even early in the show, in the first episode, they say that Loki's gender fluid, but they don't say it. They just have it on a piece of paper that you couldn't even catch. And it was a little hypocritical hearing homophobes say that they're not homophobic, but yet they're complaining about things that you wouldn't even be able to catch the first time you see it. But it is what it is. But yeah. Sub says it's 1 a.m. in India, but morning, need to go to college. Had a great time watching your stream. See you soon, viewer buddies. Thank you, Sub, for being here, and thank you for taking the time. And shout out to you, man. You were watching the stream at 1 a.m. That's oof. I'm not even up at that time. I sleep pretty early. I sleep, which is why I don't do a lot of streams with other people. But I sleep pretty early. And also, what's up, Fred Bell? Sorry if I didn't see your chat early. I'm gonna read your chat a bit, but I need to catch up. But yeah, shout out to you, man. Sub, thank you for being here, man. But yeah, BK Dan says I'm not surprised. I actually agree with John Campea about that. Kingo was like, yeah, I don't agree with you, but not gonna fight family. And yeah, true. It's also a conflict of not just knowing that you're not capable of stopping this, but you don't want to fight Icarus, because at the end of the day, Icarus is your family, and you know, family like Dominic Toretto. Also, I got Fast and Furious 8 movie collection. I don't know if you can read it from there, but that's all the 8 movies besides the ninth one. But yeah. I've actually not seen John Campea's spoiler discussion, so I don't know what his full spoiler thoughts are. But yeah. BK Dan says, speaking of family, was half expected. Oh, there we go. Dominic Toretto reference right when I mentioned him. But yeah, Dominic Toretto to show up. Yeah. Imagine the ending. You have like Icarus is about to kill Cersei, and then all of a sudden you see this car flying out of nowhere, and Dominic Toretto and his crew, they all show up, and they stop the Celestial they stop the emergence, they stop Icarus, and let's be honest, as silly as Fast and Furious is, I I would find it. I would find it realistic if the writers of Fast 9 decided, like, if the Fast and Furious writers were writing this, I would not find it surprising if Dominic Toretto by himself kicked Erishim's ass. I'll say this right now. I don't like I genuinely think Dominic Toretto, written the way he is in all the Fast and Furious movies, he would be able to kick Erishim's ass all by himself with just nothing but a shotgun. Because family. But yeah. BK Dan says, no IMAX anywhere near me, only a Regal. Sorry about that, man. I will say the closest AMC to me is an IMAX. The closest IMAX near me is a 20-minute drive, and it's not even the town that I live in, it's the next town. There's a theater that's 10 minutes away from me, which is the one I normally go to, but there's no IMAX in that one. Then there's this one that's like 5 minutes away from me, but I hate that theater because that theater is so small. So obviously they don't have IMAX. So oftentimes I'll drive 20 minutes to go watch IMAX at AMC. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah. Next comment. Where was I? Oh, okay, there we go. BK Dan says, Erishim's voice, in my opinion, was penetrating more than anything else. Yeah. It felt like the voice of a god who, like, you just do not want to F with. It's a god who you do not want to mess with. And I love that. I love that, man. Next time, BK Dan says, did you realize Phastos equals Hephaestus, the forger of the Greek gods? I'm actually not familiar with the names. I know the names are Greek, and I don't know what the names are. But I did not know that, and thank you for letting me know that. I know Icarus, just because they said it early in the movie, was the boy who flew too close to the sun. But I do like that. I like that. I know Thanos meant something. I cannot remember what Thanos meant. But I remember Thanos' name meant something in Greek. I think it was something evil. I'm not sure, but I do find that interesting that they actually had Greek names, be used and kind of like their meaning. But that's interesting. Thank you for letting me know that, BK Dan. But next comment, BK Dan says piracy equals not caring enough to buy the product that you're willing to consume. Yeah, I agree. Look, even if you know the movie, like let's say it's a movie that you hated, or maybe it's a movie that you're not looking forward to and you pirate it, you're still stealing because look, for the movies are made for the purpose of purchase. So you're stealing regardless. And what you're saying is, and I've said this before in my other video, when you pirate a movie, what you're saying is those hundreds, maybe even thousands of people for the last 2 years worked really hard and very dangerous equipment with very difficult circumstances, working overtime, working so much time on editing, VFX. Not only that, but the people, the camera crew, the lighting equipment, because that's all like heavy equipment. That takes a long time. And not only that, but the small people like the janitors, the people weren't getting paid that much, like janitors, the cleaning crew, the caterers who give food to the actors, and then the actors themselves. All these people who work insanely hard, and the director who obviously takes like 2 years to make this movie. These people who work so hard on a movie, what you're essentially telling them is, I don't give an F about you. I'm going to pee all over you, not care about you at all. I don't care how you make your money to provide for your family. I'm going to pee all over you. I'm going to disrespect you. I'm going to spit on your grave. And not only that, but I'm going to steal from you something that you worked years and years on your life just because I'm selfish. That to me is the best way to describe piracy. That to me is the best way to describe piracy. And that's what it is. It's like that. And I hate how the excuse for piracy is always, well, I don't want to pay, or I don't have the money. If you don't have the money, then don't buy it. And it's a thing. And it's not like this is food or water. This is not important. This is not crucial. This is entertainment. And entertainment is not something you need. So there's no purpose in you for stealing it. And I get, if someone buys you a movie ticket, great. That means someone actually paid their money. Or maybe you're watching it on streaming, then great, because that's what the studios chose. You're watching this on anything else, illegally, you're supporting. But if you're stealing, you're going on websites. As a movie fandom, we need to start shunning people. I've heard so many times people tell me I'm pirating, and even my closest friends. So I hang out with my close friends every Sunday, and anytime I hear them mention pirating, I genuinely shun them. Because to me, if you're pirating, you're basically spitting on the creators. You're peeing all over their grave. You're basically telling them that you don't care about them and that you don't care about how they're going to feed their families. Because people have this misinformation that movies like Hollywood is just millionaires and billionaires and these actors who get like 20 million of bonuses. It's not just them, but it's also the people in VFX, the people in the camera who are not paid millions, people who are like the obviously the cleaning crew, the caterers, people who are not getting paid that much, basically working almost minimum wage for overtime, writers who are working hard. This is their entire career and their livelihood, and they're not all of them get paid the millions and billions that you see on Hollywood Reporter. And it's not just them. It's not just the billionaires. It's these people who are barely working for any money, and they're working long hours. They're working insane amount of hours. And when you don't help, when you don't show your support, look, I get if you choose not to watch a movie. Let's say Eternals does not look interesting to you and you don't watch it. If you don't watch the movie and you don't find it interesting, then I understand. Don't watch it, and that's not your fault, because obviously even they know that this is made for consumption, and marketing and all that is difficult. But when you deliberately take something that was made for the power of consumption and you just steal it, then you're basically telling everyone that you don't give a crap about their livelihoods and stuff like that. You're disrespecting them. And piracy, and this is not debatable, this is objective. Piracy is the worst thing in the movie fandom, because what it does is the more piracy, the less of a chance more movies like these get made, less of a chance more budgets like these are made, and that there's a reason why we probably will never get a James Gunn Suicide Squad 2. I mean, they probably will because of how much people loved it, but financially speaking, they probably wouldn't want to do it. And it needs to be said, like, as movie fans, we need to start making piracy seem less and less acceptable, because that's the only way we're really going to stop it, realistically speaking. But we're gonna have to hope that people stop being idiots. But yeah. Next comments. Where was I? Okay, Fred Bell. The gay kiss scene was like 1 second, and people getting mad for nothing. Well, they are getting mad for a reason, because they're homophobic. Yeah, it's simple as that. They're homophobic and they're ignorant, and they don't realize that we live in a world where hatred should not be accepted. Also, sorry guys, I just had to check because I keep hearing a door close. But like if you're mad over a gay kiss scene that lasted just a couple of seconds, then you're homophobic. Simple as that. And I hate, like, when I made my Geeks and Gamers video, I had people who agreed with me tell me that I shouldn't be using the word homophobic lightly because it takes away meaning to that. And I'm like, what do you mean it takes away meaning? They're homophobic. It's simple as that. What word do you want me to use? what word? Because homophobia isn't just using the F slur or hating gay people. It's also ignorance and not accepting them in our culture, like entertainment, video games, movies. That's also homophobia, because you're not treating them like you would treat a heterosexual person. But yeah, ignorance is part of the problem. But yeah, BK Dan says Loki was gender fluid, but they also said he was bisexual, and they were just small, like, especially that. Like, I don't get why people were so mad. And it's like, not only that, but Loki's gender fluid in the comics, and it's not like this is a retcon or anything. It's like, it just shows that people are anti-LGBTQ plus without actually really understanding it. But it is what it is. Next comment, BK Dan says, no, the car flying in space to battle Airstream. Yeah, what's Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson's character's name? I always forget the character's name, but Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson, they would be in the car and then trying to stop Airstream, and they would succeed. But yeah. BK Dan says, Makari equals Mercury, messenger of Greek gods and other speedster. Oh, I didn't know. Thank you, BK Dan, for letting me know that. I actually did not know that these names meant anything. Like, I knew they should have meant something because they're Greek, but I just was not aware of what they meant, except Icarus, because they said that early in the movie. But yeah. Next comment by BK Dan. BK Dan says, yeah, a friend of mine. Wait, no, not next one. No, there was the one before. Okay, you need food and water and air. You don't need a movie, and that's true, because it's like you can make an exception if you're trying to get food and water, and you don't have the money, because that's something you truly need. And same thing with air. Those are things you essentially need. But a movie. And look, I'm one of the biggest movie fans you'll ever meet. I'm a big movie fan, but having this movie right here, Face Off, with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, having this movie is not a need. It's not essential. So when you steal it, and you're using the stupid excuse of saying I don't have money off of something that you do not need. This is not something you need. You do need water. You need water because that helps you exist and live. This, you could go your entire lifetime without watching a movie and it wouldn't matter. And and when you use the excuse that, oh, I don't have enough money, because that's always the excuse. The excuse is I don't want to pay, I don't have enough money. When you use that excuse over something you don't need, it makes you look stupid, because this is not something you actually need. Doesn't matter how much you love it, you don't need it. So when you use the excuse that you don't have money, what you're basically telling me is you're an idiot, and you don't actually know how to properly use your money. Or not that, but you're a complete idiot. You're a moron, and you're basically stealing for the sake of stealing. Because at least this is how I feel when I watch a movie, even if it's a movie I don't like. I'll still be like, hey, at least I supported all the people who got involved into making this film. Like Fast 9. I didn't like Fast 9, but at least I supported the people who worked the movie. And sorry. Sorry about that. That's actually my that was my phone. Yes, my ringtone is the Spider-Man Homecoming theme at the beginning. But sorry about that. But like, and again, I understand if you're stealing water because you need it, but stealing a movie and using the excuse that you don't have the money makes you look like a complete idiot who doesn't truly actually know how much work is involved into making us this. Doesn't matter if you don't like the movie. At the end of the day, you're stealing. If you go to someone's house and you take away this camera, by the way, this is actually my original camera, but for some reason this camera does not work for OBS. This is what I normally use. If you steal this camera, and this camera is meant to be bought, that's stealing. Simple as that. But I don't know. I told my friend that I shunned him in a bit. Like, me and him often talk movies. Like, we'll be on the phone after we watch a movie, and we'll talk movies. He's not as hardcore as I am, but we often talk movies. And I told him, I'm not talking Eternals with you because you betrayed Eternals. Unless you go to the movies and actually watch it and support the theater, especially now because theaters are struggling. And look, I understand if there's a movie that doesn't look interesting. Like, I tried getting one of my friends to go watch Last Night in Soho with me, and they didn't watch it. And obviously, I can't blame him because at the end of the day, it's a movie's job to get you to go watch it. It's like me and my channel. I can't blame people for not watching my videos. My job is to try getting people to watch my videos. And you know, I get if you don't want to go watch it. And let's say there's a movie, you don't watch it because obviously movies are supposed to be marketing towards you. I get that. But to steal it, go to an illegal website or find a way to get a movie without paying for it when it's meant to be paid for, that's stealing. Simple as that. You're a thief. Not only that, but you're a moron who doesn't want to support people's livelihoods. But anyways, Beacon Dan says, yeah, a friend of mine works at Skywalker Sound and makes barely enough to get a buy to pay bills and have a little scratch left. Yeah, and it's sad because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just assume that Hollywood is just millionaires and billionaires. And yes, there are millionaires and billionaires, but there are also those people who are making minimum wage and work so much, like they work so many hours for so little pay. And a lot of the times, travel is also involved. Like, let's say you're a camera guy, you're traveling a lot too, and you're away from your family. You're essentially far from home, and there's no way home, and you get paid little. And so because these people want to work, obviously they want to work because that's how they make their living. And when you essentially take that, you're starting to make it less and less. And one person does make a difference. One person can make a difference. And when you do that, and when you steal it, what you're essentially telling all these people who worked so hard on the movie that you don't care about them. And I told that to my friend, but he wouldn't listen. And, I'm not asking you to go watch every movie in theater. I'm not telling you to go watch Eternals 4 times like I am. What I'm just saying is, if you want to watch the movie, be a normal, average consumer and go pay for it. And not only do you get to pay for it, but you get a theatrical experience out of it. So it is what it is. But yeah, and your friend is one of the examples of that. A lot of people don't know that a lot of times not everyone in Hollywood is rich. Yeah, some people are working minimum wage and are barely doing anything. But yeah, and next comment, Fred Bell says, people are weird. Yep, sadly, wait from the next comment. Yeah, some people just don't understand that we live in a world where we need to start accepting people, but it is what it is. Anyways. BK Dan says, the end, second end credit. Do you think that the rest of Eternals were about to head back to Earth to get to rest of the Eternals or humans? I think the Eternals who were on the ship, which was Thena. It was Thena. Who else was in that ship? Phastos was. Was Phastos? No, Phastos was still on Earth. So it was Thena, Droig, and Makari. Yeah, there we go. It was Thena, Droig, and Makari. I think they were about to head back on Earth just to check on the other Eternals. But then Harry Styles, what was he? I think his name is Star Fox. Star Fox shows up and tells him that his friends are in danger. I'm actually going to say this. When I watched the movie for the first time, my first thought after watching the movie was that they're setting up a revolution, because I think that they're gonna make a trilogy out of this, where where there's gonna be a trilogy set up where the Eternals, every Eternal, because this movie does set up that there's more than just these Eternals. There are tons of Eternals. I genuinely think there's gonna be a revolution against Erishim the Judge, where where eventually maybe there's gonna be a trilogy, and at the end of that trilogy, we see all the Eternals kind of team up in Avengers style, and all fight Erishim and finally put an end to Erishim. And in the second movie, I do think we're gonna meet a lot of other Eternals, where Star Fox is gonna show them all these Eternals who still are out there in the galaxy, and and eventually there's gonna be a revolution against Erishim and maybe the other Celestials, so that they can finally put an end to the Celestials, just destroying planet and planet. But yeah, um, I do think it's something gonna be like that. But yeah, I do think that they were gonna return for the Eternals. And Cersei, Phastos, and Kingo, because those are the Eternals who were grabbed by Airstream. I genuinely think that in the second movie they're gonna be freed at the end. At the end, they're gonna be freed from Airstream, and Airstream's basically gonna kind of Airstream is basically gonna hold them prisoners until eventually the Eternals are able to get them out. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see and find out. I'm very excited for Eternals too. I'm very excited, especially for how much I love this first Eternals. But yeah. BK Dan says, "You're welcome for passing my wisdom of more than twice your age." Wait, hold up. Sorry, I'm trying to read it, but you're welcome for passing my wisdom of more than twice your age. That's awesome, man. And thank you, BK Dan, for coming here and discussing, because these are things that you know movie fans need to discuss. Because while while movie fans, yes, movies are not important like livelihoods, food, water, but it's still important that within the movie fan, because there are millions of people, billions of people who love movies, who are part of this growing community. And I do think as movie fans we need to address certain things, and piracy is one of them. But I do think it's more important to address things like homophobia, sexism, and racism. Those are things that we need to start addressing in the community, and we need to make it less susceptible, because sadly in like 2016, 2015, around that time, we had like Geeks and Gamers rising, we had Quartering rising, or Capos, and we had a lot of these channels rising, making it they kind of normalized transphobia, homophobia, and all this stuff, and without people actually really fully understanding. And I do think that throughout the years the community has improved, but I do think we need to improve upon that. And I do think some movie channels need to start addressing things like that. I mean, you don't have to, obviously, if you're not comfortable with it, but me personally, I do want to help in trying to change some people's minds, because I do think as a community we need to address certain things like that. But yeah. Um Next comments. What comment was? Okay, there we go. BK Dan says, "Love Face Off. Actually saw it in theaters. Yeah, I really like Face Off. I really like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. I actually saw Face Off 2 years ago. I think that was the first time I saw it, and I really liked it. And yeah, over here, um, I have this stack of movies. Not a big stack, but these movies can't fit in my shelf, so I have them just here on this table, and also those movies back there. I just I'll put these for the background just to kind of improve it, but I do have these movies right here that are just chilling, and so I had Face Off at the front, just chilling. I also have let me actually count. So I have the Predator movie right here. I have Jaws. I have a Blu-ray DVD version of Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man. I have this double feature of the Michael Keaton Batman 89 and Batman Returns. I have my favorite comedy movie of all time, known as Superbad. And then that's the whole package out. But I have most of my movies right there. But these are some movies that just didn't fit there, so I just have them there, kind of just chilling, minding their own business. But yeah, I really like Face Off. But yeah, and glad you loved it, man. Glad you loved it. BK Dan says, yeah, Wanty and Needy are two different critters. Yep, sadly. Next comment, BK Dan. I think I need to take off this jacket. I'm gonna take off the jacket. Give me a minute, guys. I need to take off this jacket because it's starting to get warm in here, and I think that's because of the lights. But I do have my Captain America shirt. I love, Captain America. I love Captain America. But I have a Captain America Funko Pop back there. Let me put that. Also, look at the top right corner. Actually, I'm selling merchandise. You can actually buy this hoodie on different colors. There's maroon, there's white, there's black. There's a lot of colors for this. So, and I ended up buying one myself. And you can go shop and help support the channel. And yeah, there it is. I think I've already sold. I think I've sold 6 pieces of merchandise. I know one of the shirts became very popular. And shout out to anyone who's bought a shirt. But yeah, next comments. Um, next. Oh wait, where was I? Okay, there we go. BK Dan says, "One person can make a difference" was the tagline of a show for early mid '80s starring David Hasselhoff, Knight Rider. So yeah, I've heard about them. And yeah, look, it's true. One person can make a difference. Um, it's there's proof because a lot of movements, a lot of revolutions, they get started off of one person, and one person can change the mindset of like thousands, millions, or however many people there are that they're trying to convince of whatever it is, and one person can make a difference. And I do think as movie fans, if in order to stop things like piracy or homophobia and stuff like that, I do think us as individuals, we can all make a difference. But yeah, um, next comment. And Eros. Oh yeah, Eros was his real name. Star Fox is more like a superhero name, and he is brother of Thanos, which I love how they emphasize that a lot. They're like really emphasizing that is the brother of Thanos. But yeah, next comment. And also, Thanos actually stopped the emergence. No one's, well, everyone's saying that, but I remember when I watched the movie for the first time, I'm like, wait, so Thanos was a hero because he stopped the emergence. He stopped the Celestial, which was going to kill all life on Earth. He stopped the emergence, so that just proves that Thanos is a hero. Not joking, but obviously that is a little example. Thanos did save the human race, but also let me check the voting. We've got 14 votes, so shout out to everyone who's voted, and 86% of you guys like Eternals. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all really like Eternals, but wait, hold up. We also got 8 likes, so shout out to everyone who's liked the stream. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out. And this has been a fun spoiler discussion. But yeah, 14 votes, 86% of you guys liked it, 14% of you guys did not like it. But that's awesome. I'm glad that most of you guys liked it because, it's always great to have people love movies, And even when I hate a movie, I want people to still love it. Like, let me remind myself of a movie that I hate. Let me try reminding. Catwoman. Let me use that Catwoman movie. I've never met anyone that likes it, but if there's anyone who likes the movie, I'm glad that they liked it because I would wish I would have that same experience. But yeah. Next comment, BK Dan says, "I truly believe that during the movie of Eternals meeting up from other planets, one of them will actually say Eternals assemble." Didn't I'm not sure if I'm right about this, but in the commercials, didn't Icarus say Eternals assemble? I do not I've seen the movie 3 times and I do not remember Icarus ever actually saying Eternals assemble. I do not remember Icarus ever saying Eternals assemble. Am I right about that? Because I remember in the commercials he says it, but in the movie you never hear him say it. I guess it's just it's kind of like for Infinity War. In the trailers and commercials, you heard Thanos say Avengers, with Josh Brolin's iconic voice. But in Infinity War, he never actually refers to them as Avengers. But in Endgame, you do actually hear him say Avengers, meaning that he knew the Avengers existed. But I could be wrong. I'll watch it a 4th time this Saturday. I already booked my tickets for the 7 p.m. screening. And I cannot remember Icarus ever saying Eternals assemble. And I don't think he did. I mean, we know he referenced the Avengers, obviously, by saying maybe he could lead them. Which, let's be honest, he would obviously kick the Avengers' butt. He would kick their ass easily. But he never says assemble. But anyways, I could be wrong. But anyways, BK Dan says art in it of itself is important as it deals with issues of the day. Yeah, it's true. Like art, and this isn't just movies. This also could be music. or like actual drawings, because it's weird because Geeks and Gamers, they have this idea that like entertainment didn't become political until now, when that's actually wrong. That's actually proven to be wrong. Entertainment has always had political idea. Like Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss wrote a lot of books against Nazis in saying America should be. And actually, I don't think I'm allowed to say Nazi, but I'm still gonna say it. Um, but in some of his stories, he would have like he would write like anti-Nazi propaganda. He would also say you know, that America needs to be in World War II, and you know he did that, and that was years, like tons ago. That's obviously way before I ever existed. And Star Wars. Let me use a good example. Star Wars, the original trilogy. George Lucas himself said that the Star Wars movies are political. I mean, they're not like Germany has this assumption that it's just now turning political. Entertainment has always been used for politics. Obviously, not every movie is gonna be political. Obviously, that if you watch Spider-Man 2, that movie does not reference any real world stuff, like real world politics. But that's not the point. Some movies will have politics shown, and some movies will not. But for some reason, Germany has this idea that you can't be political in a movie because that's forcing it down your throats, and really, that's not it. And you know what's funny? Geeks and Gamers, they've complained about the last three Marvel movies in a row: Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals. For Black Widow, they complained that Scarlett Johansson said that Black Widow has been over sexualized in the beginning of the MCU, and then said that ScarJo was enforcing feminist agendas in Black Widow, and then complained about Black Widow. So there's the sexism. Then Shang-Chi, Simu Liu was just saying that, hey, first Asian starred Marvel movie, and it's important to have Asian representation. And then the Eternals one was like, it's like he's scraping, trying to cause drama. It's like he's trying to stir up the pot for no reason. Literally in Eternals, all it was he read a report saying that about the review bombing, and a lot of the review bombing was homophobic. A lot of it was homophobic comments. I've read a couple of the reviews, and it was a lot of homophobic review bombing. And for some reason, he didn't believe it was review bombing, yet the movie hadn't even been out at that time. So it's like you can see that Jeremy was sexist during his Black Widow stuff. He was being racist during the Shang-Chi stuff, and now he's being homophobic. And it's like music, movies, there's always been politics involved in that. I mean, look at the 90s. In the 90s, a lot of rap with Tupac, Biggie Smalls, you know, you had them, and NWA, obviously, Ice Cube, who was in NWA, they would rap about politics. They would rap about things happening in the world. They would rap about that. And obviously, like I mentioned, Star Wars original trilogy was political. There are movies and shows and entertainment, music, and all that that's always been forms of politics, because as human beings, we love storytelling. And part of storytelling is telling stories from our perspectives. And for some reason, Germany has this assumption where he believes that everything is being turned political just now, when in reality, this has been happening forever. The only difference is that Germany's older now, and obviously when you're older, you believe more stuff. Like when you're a kid, you don't think about politics. You don't even know what the heck they are. But the older you get, obviously the more you know it. And since he believes that, you know, he believes in homophobia, sexism, and maybe racism, obviously, he now believes that this is all pandering. And you're wondering, what do you mean pandering? Because he talks bad about Captain. And look, I don't even like Captain Marvel. I don't even like that movie. But he claimed that Captain Marvel was pandering to feminism, and it's like, wait, hold up. The entire MCU at that point, up until that Captain Marvel movie, had 20 movies starring straight white males, and just recently had their first black male star in a movie, and then their first female star in a movie. And that's when Germany decides to call it pandering. It's not pandering when you make 20 plus straight white male movies, but it's pandering when you make one female movie. And it's like you have to kind of wonder, Germany, what's the idea? And Star Wars, let me use Star Wars. Before the before the sequel trilogy, the Rey storyline with Daisy Ridley. Before that, we had six Star Wars movies that starred straight white males and then begin complaining once there was a woman involved. And look, I'm not even that big of a fan of the sequels. I love Force Awakens. I don't like Last Jedi, but I don't hate it either. And I hate Rise of Skywalker. But even I will see that Jeremy was being sexist and all of stuff like that. And says that they're pandering just now. They're not pandering when a character's straight white male. They're pandering when there's a gay, uh, gay or person of color, or or a female. That's when it's pandering, but it's not pandering when it's a straight white male. And you're there wondering, what's the idea he's trying to tell us? And the thing is, I hate how in a lot of his videos, when he's called sexist, his only example is, but I have a wife and daughter, so I can't be sexist. That's the exact same thing as saying, I'm not racist because I have a black friend. It's like, what? You can still be racist and homophobic. Even, look, me, when I was younger, when I was stupid and naive, when I was homophobic, I had a gay friend. I was still homophobic back in the day. Doesn't change anything. Not only that, but a lot of, there's a story. I don't know what the guy's name is. It's this black man who was in Joe Rogan's podcast once, and he was telling a story about how he was able to convince over 200 KKK members to change their ways. And the thing is, he had a lot of white supremacist friends who were still white supremacists when they were friends, but were still friends with him. And so there are, you can still be sexist, homophobic, and racist, even if you're close to someone of that status, and not only that, but the things you do speak up more than the things you say. If I say I love burgers, let's say that. If I say I love burgers, but I never eat burgers, then the assumption people are going to make is he doesn't like burgers because he never wants to eat them, but yet I can say I eat them. Saying something doesn't mean you're actually believing it. And this idea that he can't be sexist because he has a wife and daughter. No, you can be sexist. You can be sexist even if you're close to someone of that group of people. You can still be that. You can still believe a lot of stupid things like homophobia, sexism, racism, and still be close to someone like that. Like, let me use an example that's close to me. So, 4 years ago, I had this close friend of mine. And he's white. And me and him were close. But oftentimes he would say, and look, I'm Hispanic. I'm a second generation immigrant. My parents came to this country from, my mother is Mexican and my father is Salvadorian. So I come from an immigrant backstory. And I grew up with learning Spanish, and Spanish was the first language I ever learned. So I speak Spanish very well. And I grew up speaking Spanish. I grew up knowing that, and I grew up kind of living with immigrants, people who, immigrants. In fact, I'm one of the first few people in my entire family who's an American citizen, and I'm very proud of that. But I had this friend, and he often would talk about how he thinks that Mexicans are stealing jobs, and how Mexicans are kind of taking away the jobs of Americans, and how they're over here taking off. He was kind of saying how there was a white genocide, saying how Hispanics are coming in, changing the culture here, not learning how to speak English is bad, and all that. And I think after a couple of years, because I was close to him, I told him, I decided to confront him, and I said, if you think immigration is so bad, then what do you think about me being here in front of you today? And he didn't know how to respond. He said, no, I like you. And I'm like, if you do like me, then why do you keep telling me that immigrants shouldn't be coming to this country legally? Because regardless of how you want to see it, I'm here in America because of immigration. And here, I'm not here talking about immigration, but I'm here talking about all the things you're saying, how there's this white genocide, there's this and that. And sorry if I'm getting too preachy about this, but it is, just because you're friends with someone doesn't mean you can't discriminate against them. You could hate fat people and still be friends with the fat person. Um, but yeah, let me let me move away from that now. Sorry if I got a little preachy about that, but yeah. Next comment. Next, wait, where was I? Okay. Okay, there we go. Beacon Dan says, put on another 25 years and you'll have something of a collection of physical media resembling Robert Meyer Burnett's. Yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett is kind of like the big, like, when you want to show a person that people still love physical media, you always got to show them Robert Meyer Burnett. I love Robert Meyer Burnett. He's a fun guy. He's a chill dude. And he has a massive amount of physical media. And I love collecting physical media. I love collecting, like, I. Okay, give me a minute. Give me a minute. I gotta be. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, but uh, I got a phone call. I got a phone call. I'm sad that people call me when I'm doing live streams, but let me try actually catching up. I need to catch up to some of the comments because we could sent a lot, but I need to catch up. But yeah, I love Robert Meyer Burnett's comment. Also, I love my ringtone. I love the Spider-Man theme. But BK Dan says education and tolerance will finally put an end to the hate. Haters gonna hate. Yeah, it's true. Like the only way we can stop hate is by trying to teach people, trying to teach them better ways, trying to teach them better stuff, trying to send a message. And at the same time, you know, starting to make things like less acceptable. Negativity, bad things, like truly bad things. Um, but it is what it is. Also, we only got 20 minutes left because I know OBS only lets you do 2 hour streams. But let me try catching up. Okay. BK Dan says Thor 2 was not good. Yeah, Thor 2 is the Marvel movie I hate most. I'm going to do my ranking, so I'm not going to spoil many things about my ranking towards the MCU, but Thor 2 is the MCU movie I hate most. But yeah, BK Dan says, I saw it twice now and don't remember him saying it. And by that, wait, I think I already read that one. My bad. BK Dan says, just watched in another tab. Icarus does say in trailer Eternals Assemble. Yeah, because I remember him saying that. I'm going to assume that's either a deleted scene or that was just a fun thing to kind of just get, because a large part of the commercials and trailers was them saying that the event, they were saying that the Eternals exist in a universe with Avengers, Guardians, and all that, but especially Avengers. But yeah. BK Dan says politics has always been in movies, going all the way back to the Sound of Music. It was referring to Nazi Germany. Yeah, it's like politics has always been a part of our culture. The only thing is, a lot of these channels like Quartering, Geeks and Gamers, since they were young, they were young when Star Wars came out, and so when they see Star Wars and they see these big blockbusters starting to get like, they see politics for the first time, they believe that that's the first time that's happened and that it's never happened. Um, and not only that, but you know, I believe the Star Wars was about the Vietnam War. It was George Lucas. That's what he said, something like that. And it's like back then there was this debate about should there be a Vietnam War. You know, some people believe that America should not be in it, and there's other people who didn't. But nowadays, when we look back at that, we look back at that as America's biggest mistake going into the war. And that's the thing about politics. People don't realize how divisive politics has always been until now, where us, we're looking at it now, and then now that's when we know something's divisive. And Jeremy doesn't seem to understand that. But yeah, BK Dan says, and Star Trek going back to 64 was political based. Yeah, um, yeah, a lot of like entertainment that they didn't realize um, is political. It's political, but they don't really see it that way because they don't want to see it that way. It's kind of like you're blocking out everything. It's like putting on headphones and saying la 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 la, kind of ignoring everything just so that you can get your ideology across. But it is what it is. Pandering was a word term that has gone way too much traction for the last 15 years ago. Thereabouts it started. Yeah, pandering, like Jeremy uses that word a lot, but doesn't actually use it properly. It's kind of like he only uses it when it fits his narrative. But it is what it is. But yeah, Jeremy actually used the phrase "shoving down my throat." If you don't like it, don't watch it. Yeah, it's like they're not like no one seems okay. Let's use Face Off again. I don't know why I'm using Face Off so much as an example. The Face Off. What Jeremy makes it seem like, it's like, let's say this is Last Jedi, because that's the movie they hate most. It's not like they're actually like they're not forcing you to watch it. They're not like open. It's just choice. You can make a choice. Do you watch it or don't? And it's like when you watch Geeks and Gamers, you kind of have this misassumption of believing that they're truly trying to make you believe everything. It's like, no, it's not that. It's just them putting some things, like they're bringing in black characters, they're bringing in Asian characters, they're bringing in LGBTQ plus characters, and they're bringing them in to normalize them to our stories and entertainment. Because the only way you can normalize things is by truly embracing it. Like gay people. 20 years ago, if you put a gay character in a movie, everyone would have been like, "Oh no, what are you doing?" And nowadays it's more like, "Oh, it's all right. I mean, you have a gay person. Yes, you're gonna have a ton of morons be mad, but a lot more people now are like, oh, it's great to have them represented. It's like heterosexuals have gone represented in movies for ever since movies began. So it's like now that we're having more gay characters in movies, now that's when it's pandering and political. There was never pandering when we only had heterosexual characters, and I speak as a heterosexual male. But yet even I am here telling you that there should not be a problem with having homosexual characters in movies. It's not pandering, and they claim to not be homophobic, but it's like if you're not homophobic, then why don't you have a problem with heterosexual characters in movies? But yeah, it is what it is. But burgers, love them too. Yeah, burgers. Yeah, I love burgers. I've not had one since like last week because I'm a fat boy. I have been eating healthy. Like I'm trying to quit fast food. Like the only days I'll eat fast food is on Sunday. That's kind of the rule I made for myself, where it's like I only eat fast food on Sundays because my biggest weakness was always fast food. Also, I've been drinking more water. Like I don't drink sodas anymore and juice because one of my biggest weaknesses is I would often be thirsty and I would like go grab a can of Coke. And I do think that substituting water is a good benefit. It's a good benefit, but yeah. And we only got 15 minutes left because OBS has a strict rule that they have a strict rule that 2 hours and that's it. But hey, to me, it's always a good stream when the stream is over an hour. So thank you everyone, and shout out especially BK Dan who's been very active in the comment section. Shout out to him, man, for being here in the stream. Having a lot of fun. Doing our Eternal spoiler discussion. I was excited to do Eternal spoiler discussion. I'm glad we got to discuss everything we wanted to discuss about Eternals. But yes, Star Wars was in reference to Vietnam. Yes, yeah, it was. I was forgetting because I haven't. I remember George Lucas saying, "What was it? Was it in a I think it was in a documentary talking about the origins of Star Wars. He said that it was referencing the Vietnam War, and I feel the thing is, Jeremy, like, Jeremy probably doesn't see the Vietnam War as political because obviously now in history textbooks, now we have this belief that everyone didn't want to be in the war, but back then it was more divisive. It was more divisive. Um, like I remember this old man was telling us about how he was like it was in no, it wasn't in high school, it was in middle school. He kind of told us about the Vietnam War, how it was like back then, and how a lot of people just did not want to be involved in it. But there was also a lot of people who believed that they had to be involved, and it was like divisive. And I don't think Jeremy really knows that, but yeah. Um, Next comments. Um, Big Dan says, "Putting your fingers in your ears, very childish, in my opinion." Yeah, it is. Like, la, 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 la. Yeah. Um, Big Dan says, "Notice that the late 19th century poet writing of his gay lover wasn't pandering." Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about 19th century poetry. I don't know much about poetry, but I do know that if there was a poet who was writing the same thing, like the same gay stuff now, I'm pretty sure Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers would call that pandering. But because it's not happening now, it's not. So that's what he believes, but it is what it is. Walt Whiteman, I'm not sure. I don't know much about him, but yeah. Kevin Iraheta. You still a Dynamo? Hey, wait a minute. This is Kevin. Okay. So just to give context, I know him because he's a massive Dynamo fan, and for those who don't know Dynamo, because a lot of you aren't soccer fans, in Houston, there's a team called Houston Dynamo, from the Major League Soccer league, the Major League Soccer. And yeah, I'm still a Dynamo fan. I keep up with Dynamo because obviously, I think my jersey, I'm washing it right now because I'm looking at the closet over there. But I do keep up with Dynamo obviously because they're the hometown team. They're the hometown team. You always gotta support the hometown team. I actually have a little poster up there from like the 2014 season, um, over there, but I don't want to take it out because there's a pin and the camera I'm using. I'm not using my normal camera today because for some reason, uh, um, the my this camera, this Logitech, the camera I normally use is not, for some reason when I would put it on OBS, it would like you would see it kind of like 10 seconds, you would see like a 10-second delay where I would be speaking but my mouth would not happen. Like my mouth, like I would be speaking but my mouth would not move at the same time because this camera. But for some reason my MacBook webcam does actually work. But yeah. BK Dan says, okay, pushing 2 hours. TTFN. I don't know what TTFN is, but we got 10 minutes left. But I want to read the Rotten Tomato scores. Let me actually pull it up. Let me pull up the Rotten Tomato scores right here. Let me see. Rotten Tomatoes. As like the last thing we do, because I wanted to do it earlier, but um, we were talking a lot, so. Eternals, Rotten Tomatoes. I want to see the score. Kevin says, if you ever come to the game, let me know. You can hang with us in El Batallon. That's awesome, dude. Thank you. And I have not been to a game since 2019. I've not been to a game since 2019. And that was when we lost to Chicago Fire. Um, quite, it was a 1-0 loss at home. Obviously at home because I'm not going to go to an away game. But yeah, let me try putting it on screen now. normal. Wait, hold up. Oh wait, I don't. Did any? Could anyone hear me when I pulled up the Rotten Tomatoes? And you know what? It doesn't matter, but we'll answer that so I can fix it next time. But since we only got 10 minutes, I'm gonna make a few couple of announcements, or not really announcements. So I'm planning on doing something new on the channel, which is uh, no sound. Oh, I guess there was no. Oh, wait a minute. I get what happened. It's because on OBS you're supposed to put audio, and I think. Okay, so I guess when I went on Google, or when I went on Rotten Tomatoes, I guess what I forgot to put for that section. So there are sections here, right here at the bottom left corner. There are sections. I have the live, which is right now, and then the next is starting soon, which is what I put at the beginning of my streams, and then I have Google, and what Google is when we go to the display capture, so you guys can see what I'm seeing on the camera on the computer. I think what happened is, so you're supposed to put this source called audio input capture, so that's why you can hear me right now, and I think I forgot to put that for Google, so I'll have to know that. I'll have to know that next time. But thank you for letting me know. But just as a one quick question, please let me know if right now you can hear me. Right, like right here, right now, can you hear me? Because I know you couldn't hear me. Man, I keep hearing cars pass by, but um, just let me know. I guess so. Yeah, it's just probably that. Right, like right here, right now, in this main live capture, you can hear me, but not when we go into the Rotten Tomatoes Google, when we actually Google. But yeah, so let me say this. I love doing live streams, and yeah, BK Dan says okay, learning curve. Yeah, that's not OBS's fault. That's my bad. I think I forgot to put audio input capture on the Google section. But what I want to start doing every weekday, not weekend, but every weekday, is I want to every night, like around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. What I want to start doing is I wanna do live streams often. Now I wanted to ask you guys if you guys would be fine with that. For fun. I would still do main videos, because I still want to do little videos of topics, but I do want to do streams every night, for the fun of it. And StreamYard, one thing StreamYard had, I loved using StreamYard, but StreamYard, one thing I hated about StreamYard is that the connection to it was like my audio would sound worse. My connection would not sound very good at all. The HD on my camera would not be good, even when I would use the good camera. And I think my MacBook looks pretty good because I can see it right here, and it looks pretty good. As long as you're not seeing pixels, I think that's fine. You can see my background, you can see everything. But but StreamYard, something that always sucked is I could never do my live streams here in my bedroom because I'm in a section of the house that has very little, like I'm the farthest away from the router. And back then I had to go to a certain room that was close to the router to do streams. But now with OBS, it's like I don't know what OBS does special, but now I can do my streams here. But I do want to do streams every night or every weekday night, for fun, just for the fun of it. But yeah. BK Dan says, oh, so we only got 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna try ending it soon. BK Dan says it'd be cool. Not sure how many I'll be able to catch though. Hey man, it's fine. You can watch the replay. But I'm gonna try it next week. Maybe on like a Monday or Tuesday. I'm not gonna do tomorrow. Although it's Disney Plus Day. What time is Disney Plus Day? I forgot what time it is. But I could probably do a Disney Plus Day kind of like live stream, but I don't know. BK Dan says, because 8 p here is kind of late for me. Get up early. All right, that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I'm going to end off the stream. To anyone who's out there, please follow me on my social media platforms on Instagram and Twitter, but primarily my Twitter, because my Twitter, I've been using, this week I've been very active on Twitter, like really active. Like I like to notify people about behind the scenes stuff going on. My first reactions are always on Twitter. Like when I watch a movie, my first thing to do is not record myself. I did that until the next morning. What I like to do is I'll grab like a phone and I'll go on like Twitter real quick and just start typing just start typing I'll start typing my review for Eternals. I did that when I didn't even leave the theater, and I just started putting, oh, I love Eternals, this and that, and just quick, so you guys can see my quick reactions. You could also see updates to my channel, like maybe I'll notify you guys there are streams happening, and I've been using that a lot on Twitter. And also recently when John Campea had his whole Spider-Man leaks, which I did a video on. I don't want to really talk about that much, but I did put my quick reactions to all that happening on Twitter first, because Twitter's pretty easy. Twitter's just quickly you type in what you think and then there, send it. But with YouTube, you have to edit it, you got to process it, you got to make sure the HD is good and all the audio is good. But yeah, BK Dan says 9 a.m. Pacific time. Disney Plus Day starts. I almost said D-Day. I'm sorry about that. But BK Dan also says, although some stuff drops on Disney Plus at midnight Pacific time. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I probably won't do a stream. I'll talk about the major things the next day. I'll try doing a video about like what I think. Maybe even do an entire live stream probably the next day talking about it all. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But anyways, thank you guys once again for everything that y'all have done. This stream was fun. It was great. We had a great time talking Eternals, because I love Eternals, and I'm glad most of you guys liked it, because we did a poll and 80-something% of you guys liked it. So also I think I'm starting to learn a lot OBS, because last time you guys were just looking at my behind the scenes settings for OBS, and now you can actually see in more professional. Like, do you guys like this background I'm doing? You know, at the top right corner, you see the shop now at my website, which is link description down below if you want to buy some merchandise. And then I just put these two random images at the right side where I have Dwight Schrute. He's right here. Dwight Schrute right here. Then an image of Kevin Feige down there. And at the bottom, kind of like letting everyone know what the topic is, which is Eternal spoiler discussion. And then we also got my logo, multiverse of movies right there at the bottom right. Bottom left. And then also I have live up there, like right here. You see it right here. I just put live just to make sure that when people watch the rewatch, they can know that it is live. I think I've been learning very well. I think everything looks pretty cool. But if you guys liked it, if you guys ever have any thoughts, ideas, whatever, please always let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, BK Dan, for being a great subscriber. Thank you, Sub. Thank you, everyone. Fernando, everyone who watched the stream. Thank you guys for having. And also, thank you, Jose Hurtado. Thank you, Jose Hurtado, for the super chat he sent in earlier for $1.99. Thank you to him for that. BK Dan says it's a good setup, catches the human you. Thank you, BK Dan. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys. Wait, hold up. I don't think I have an ending. I don't care, but I'm gonna end it in a special way. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm a superhero!